Hi everyone, Mike here. This week we're going to have our first reading assignments, and there's a certain procedure that I'd like you to follow, and I also want to give you a couple of tips for philosophical reading, and so I just made a little screen recording for you. So for the first assignment, really for all the reading-based assignments, you'll follow the same general structure. So I'll give you an assignment based on metaphysics or ethics or whatever it is for the reading. And what you'll do is you'll go here to the keywords. So you see right here in the reader, by the way, this is your reader if you don't know, you need to get it. You go right here to the keywords and you'll see that I have them list: metaphysics, ethics, religion, ethics, ethics, epistemology, epistemology. And so what I'll do is I'll give you the option of picking a keyword and a philosopher. Sometimes I'll assign a philosopher. Either way, this is how you'll find them. Either through the list of the names right here on the left under the titles or under the keywords. And then you'll just go to that specific philosopher. Now, reading philosophy is a little bit different than reading other types of things. You might imagine that you could just wait to the very last second, go crack open utilitarianism or Plato or whatever it is, and then just read it in 5 minutes and let me just kind of disabuse you of that notion. That is definitely not going to happen. At least you won't be able to do it well. Unless you have a lot of experience reading philosophy, it's its own type of a thing. And the reason it's kind of an important thing to learn is it really, really, really is one of the main ways the philosophers do so well on exams like the GRE or the LSAT or the GMAT. It's because you're pushed constantly to become a better critical reader, critical thinker, and critical writer. It's those three things mixed together. So I have up here on the screen just one example. It's just an example. There's a lot of readings in here that I've annotated. And this is Utilitarianism from John Stuart Mill. So if you happen to have picked this thing and you think you can just jump in and start reading, it's probably just not going to work. So what you need to do is two main things. The first thing is you got to make sure you understand the meaning of what the philosopher is trying to get across here. It's extremely hard to explain to someone like, what is ethics? How should we do ethics? What is metaphysics? How should we do metaphysics? These are extremely hard things to explain clearly. Imagine if I asked you to just briefly explain to me what is justice. And then I'm going to start picking at it and twisting it and asking you questions and asking you questions. How would you get around that? And so what happens when you're doing philosophy is the philosophers already tried to do that. They're in a context where they're trying to explain their position to you as clearly as they can. Now, this is some old-fashioned language usually, and so that makes it a little bit harder and it kind of slows you down. But the very first thing you need to do is try to understand the meaning. So if you're going along here and you're reading the first couple sentences, and then you get to this thing where it says that every writer from Epicurus to Bentham who maintained the theory of utility meant by it, blah, 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 blah. When you get to that, you cannot just blow past this. Epicurus is an extremely important background influence to Mill. And if you think you're going to understand the meaning of what he's doing here and who he's arguing against in the essay by just blowing past that, you're going to make a mistake. And so what you really need to do is go slowly, slowly. Very often, the first time you read philosophy, it takes forever. And that's okay. You will get better at it. And so what you do is you go through and you make sure everything you're reading, you have a pretty good idea. Don't go too wild. You don't have to spend hours and hours doing this. But it should probably take you an hour at least to read a few first pages here the first time you do it. After you get better, you'll get quicker and you'll be able to understand it a little bit more easily. Okay, so go to the keyword or go to the assigned philosopher, go inside, take your time. Take your time. If you try to rush through it, you're going to find that it's way too overwhelming and you're going to end up trying to cheat by going to, Google somewhere and I'm going to totally know. All right. So work your way through it. Do your best. If you have trouble, that's why I'm here. Remember, just text me, 617-299-1575. If you have a longer question, email me. I'm here to help you. We can set up a Zoom, whatever you want. We can put this on the screen on Zoom and just talk about it. Okay? So make sure you slow down, make sure you take your time, and when you get the assignments, start here. Go to either the keyword or the assigned philosopher and go from there. Okay?